Welcome to the San Antonio ISD World Languages Microlearning video series. Today we're going to discuss backwards design. One of Actiful's core practices is to plan with backwards design. Before we begin a new unit, we need to ask ourselves, what can students do with the language and what cultural knowledge will they have at the end of the unit? Imagine you're going on a road trip to visit your friend who lives several states away. You wouldn't just get in the car and start driving without figuring out how to get there and where you might need to stop along the way. You would also plan ahead by packing your clothes, checking the weather, making sure your car is ready for a long road trip. When beginning a unit of study, we need to be taking these same steps to ensure that our students make it to their destination. This is backwards design, beginning with the end in mind. Let's start off by packing and checking the weather. When you hear the question, what can students do with the language? What comes to mind? Grammar, vocabulary lists, themes? In reality, can-do statements are student-friendly statements about what students can do with the language. Examples would be, I can ask for directions, I can order a meal, I can introduce myself, I can talk about artists from other countries, I can interview for a job or a service opportunity. Now that you've decided what students can do, the LOTE TEKS set the proficiency level. Level 1 students should be novice mid to novice high, which means that they're able to communicate using words, phrases, and simple sentences. At level 2, students are expected to reach a proficiency level of novice high to intermediate low. This means that they can communicate in phrases, simple sentences, and simple connected sentences, and so on, moving up the levels. If you notice, there's no explicit grammar in either the TEKS or the can-do statements. While grammar can be used as an editor, the goal should be for students to use the language in real-life situations. Next, we need to know what cultural knowledge students will have. This is generally included in the theme. Use the district year-at-a-glance and pacing calendar to see where you should be. For example, if the unit is on clothing, we can find fashion shows or discuss the clothing that people wear in their communities. For food, we can find menus from countries that speak the target language. Once we've finished packing and figuring out what our students should be able to do with the language, let's take a look at our destination. What is it that we want students to be able to do with the language, and what cultural knowledge will they have? Now we will begin planning our assessment. There are 3 modes of communication contained in the TEKS: interpersonal speaking and writing, interpretive reading and listening, and presentational speaking and writing. Choose how you're going to assess the modes of communication. Actiful recommends performance-based assessments. If doing multiple choice tests, make sure that your questions are based on negotiating for meaning and must be answered based on information in the text or the audio. For example, you can answer this question on the screen without reading anything. You can pick out a negative sentence without reading the paragraph. Our destination is students who can use the language in real-life situations and develop intercultural competence. Backwards design helps us plan our trip to get our students to their destination. Let's get on the road.